All right. Hopefully some more will be joining soon. But so this one we're going to continue learning some more. Maybe it's just one more prep post position. But there's going to be a lot of other we're going to learn some new verbs and some new words as well. And so let's do a little bit of a review to start. So before we do that though, one of the new words that we are going to be learning is the word for table. What you see here on the left, table. So there are two different ways that you can say this. One borrows from English, and that's what you see on the top. It's just simply table, table. Okay, table. That comes from the English word table. So as you guys know, I think Numu does not have the L sound. So anything that comes from English that has an L, it's omitted in some way. So table, table is table, and you can kind of hear how it sounds like table. Another way that uses more kind of just descriptive Numu way of describing it is bukuba narukana. Bukuba narukana, which basically kind of like means on which, or on which is your food. The place where your food is on top of. So bukuba narukana. But I'm just going to use the tibo, the top one, tibo, because that's just kind of very common. When I was looking through a lot of resources from our Agaidikada from Schurz, this is what they use, tibo. And even in other places, in other communities, they just kind of use the English borrowed word and say tibo, tibo. And another one is a word for chair. I think everyone on here, maybe not Shani, would be familiar with the word for chair, but is katunu, katunu. Remember the word katu, katu means to sit, katu. And that N double O suffix means the instrument used to do the verbal action. So katunu is the instrument used to do the action of sitting, which is chair. So katunu is chair. Katunu, katunu. Another new word we have here is the word for cup. We did not do this one last week. So cup is tsira, tsira, tsira. This is a word that kind of is also generic, used to refer to any kind of vessel that can hold something. So it can also mean bowl, a bowl or some sort of, again, vessel used to kind of carry something. But I'm just going to use it to mean cup here in this class. So tira, tira, tira. So let's do a little bit of review from last week's class. Remember, I'm going to ask, where is the knife, fork, pan, or whatever cup, and you will answer where it's at. Is it on the table? It's beside or behind the table or beside the chair, etc. So before I do that, is there any questions? Do you guys have everything written down? Oh, that's
You do. Where is the last week?
where is was
Yeah.
yeah. So I didn't have a slide for that, but it's just Hano. Remember Hano su blank, like Hano su wihi. Where is the knife? Hano su tsira. Where is the cup? Hano su sanu. Where is the pan? Or Hano su tuzikuhuno. Where is the fork? So if that's you just joined, if you can you hear me? All right, then the only three, there's only three new words that I introduced right now. Table, debo. Table is debo, debo, derived from English. The word for chair is katenu, katenu, and cup is tsira, tsira, tsira. And you will learn these as we go. Let me type it in the chat really quick. Table, katenu, and tsira. Table, katenu, chair, tsira, cup. All right, and so Chrissy, let's kind of start with you. I'm gonna ask you a couple of them. If I say Hano sutsira,
Tutsira. Katunu. Doha.
what was the last word you said?
Doha. Doha. Doha.
Oh, okay, under the chair. Sutsira katenu duha. Um, so this one is more beside the chair. How would you say beside?
Oh. Gumaba.
Aha, yes. Sutsira katenu gumawa. The chair, cup is beside the chair. Yishi hanosu wihi.
Suwihi. Tibo. Kuba.
Ja, su wihi tibo guba. The wihi, the knife is on the table. Tibo guba on the table. These next ones I guess can be a little. Is it in front under the like? Is a pan in front of? Is it beside or the fork? Is that beside or is it under? I mean, not under. Is it behind or is it beside? You can just pick one and I'll be fine with that. So Hano Su Sanu.
Susanu. Susanu. Tibo Gumaba.
Okay, so the pan is beside the table. Susanu Dibugumawa. The pan. There's so many words. The pan is beside the table. And finally, Hanosu Tuzikuhuno.
Tuziku. Tuzikwi Huno. Tibo. Unagwai.
Okay, so the fork is behind the chair. Su Tuzikuhuno Tibu Unagwai. Tibu Unagwai behind the chair. All right then. And then I have Maxine, you want to give it a shot?
I wasn't here last week. I think I missed.
Oh yeah, you were in New York, right?
Yeah, I missed the words.
Okay, no worries. So I'll type them in the chat then. So the word for near, or excuse me, well yeah, gumaba is beside. So like, well, let me go back to this previous slide. Chrissy said Sanu is Japan. Oops, what? I have no idea what I just did. Made a spider show on the screen. It was weird. Um, so Sanu equals pan Sanu. And so Chrissy said Susanu Tibo Gumaba. Gumaba is beside. Gumaba is beside. And then the Zik is fork. Zikuhuno is fork. And Unagwai is behind. So Chrissy said, Su Tuzikuhuno Tibo Unagwai. So the fork is behind the table. And then Uba is on Uba. So the wihi, which is the fork, wihi, Tibo Guba is on the table. And that's all we had so far. So on, behind, and beside. There's another one which we will eventually get to, is tsagi'i, which is near. Just put that in the chat as well. Tsagi'i. And we will get to duha, which is under duha. All right, then. Well, Fats, you were here last week, so let's get to you if you have your audio available to answer these ones. If you're talking, I can't hear you. All right, Leash. How about you? So, Leisha, were you here last week?
I wasn't, but I watched all the videos that you uploaded on YouTube.
Okay, well, so you down to try it out then?
Yeah, I can try it out.
Okay, so Hano Susanu.
Susanu Tibo Sanu. Okay, so that's gonna be um Cuba.
Correct. But you said table, which is table. So how would you say chair?
Oh, chair. Okay. Susano chair is Susanu Gatuno Cuba.
Bija, dogi. Yep. Susanu Katinuguba. Susanu Katinuguba. Susanu Katinuguba. The pan is on the or the chair. Yeshi Hano Sutsida. Hano Sutsida.
Zira. Okay. Okay. Sutsira Ka Katuno Unaguay.
Bija. Yep. The cup is behind the chair. So Sutsida Katinu Unagwai. Sutsida Katinu Unagwai. The cup is behind the chair. And how about Hanosu Tuzikuhuno?
Suzuki Katuno Kobina.
Ja, oh yeah, I forgot that one. Maxine, I'm writing this one in the chat as well. Kovina is in front of Kovina. So yes, Bija. So Alicia, that is correct. Su Tuzikuhuno. Fatinu Kovina. The fork is in front of the chair. Su Tuzikuhuno. Fatinu Kovina. The fork is in front of the chair. And finally, Hanosu Wihi.
Suwihi. I would say hmm. Suwihi. Is it in relation to the chair or the table? Either or?
Let's do the table.
Okay. Suwihi Tibo Tuha? Is it like under or
If it was under, then yes, that is how you would say it. Suwihi divotuha. Divotuha. Suwihi divotuha. The knife is under the table. How would you say it if it was beside the table?
beside? I don't know. I was trying to look for beside in my notes, but I couldn't find
That one is
uh
gumawa. Gumawa.
oh Gamaba. Oh, I guess I must have missed that one. Let me write it down. Gumaba.
Gumawa. Gumawa.
Okay.
So
And
suwihi
that one's
ibu gumawa. The knife is beside the table. What were you gonna ask?
okay. Oh, no, you wrote it in a chat.
Oh
I
yeah,
just
that's the one. Yep,
Thank you.
for sure. All right, then let's have a little change of scenery. We're gonna learn some new, um, again, some new words, some new verbs, and whatnot. So oftentimes, the existence of something, like where it is in Numu, is indicated by posture verbs. Posture verbs are again the lying down, sitting, or standing. So in English, we don't use those words to describe objects, but in Numu, we do. So we can refer to objects as sitting or lying down. And basically that just means, yeah, like that is what, there it is. It is beside the lake in this case, or it is near the lake. In Numa, you use those words like sitting, lying, or standing. So if you want to say if you want to say the fork is beside the lake, in Numa, you might actually say the fork is lying beside the lake, lying down beside the lake. And so how you would say that is what you see here. So tzikwihunno, right? The knife, or the fork. So tzikwihunno, panunare gumava happy. So tzikwihunno, panunare gumava happy. That means the fork. I mean, in English, we would just say the fork is beside the lake. But again, in Numu, oftentimes you do add these posture verbs. So that final word at the very end, happy, happy means lying down, referring to a single object. It's lying down. So happy. Or if you want to say the cup is near the lake, oftentimes you might say something more like the cup is sitting near the lake. So in this case, what I have here, sutsida banuna de zagi ikat. Sutsida banuna de zagi ikat. Katu, that's that last word, means to sit. So again, in English, we don't say that. We don't speak that way in English. But in Numa, it is common to say it that way. The cup is sitting near the lake. Also notice on that suffix near. Remember last week, near, it was just a tsagi, ts, right? Ts, tsagi, tsagi. But this word lake, banunade, causes that suffix tsagi to be pronounced with a more like a dz. Dz. So I don't fully understand why that happens. Why does it change the pronunciation? I don't fully understand that. I've asked around different elders and they just say that's how it is. That's just the way it is. So it's it can make it confusing and difficult to learn Numa because like how do I know when it's pronounced one way or the other? Well, it's just a matter of, just doing our best to listen as much as we can to those fluent speakers and how they say it. But yes, so this word panunade, lake, panunade causes this DZ pronunciation. So sutsira panunade zagi ikate. The cup is near the lake, or it sits near the lake. So let's learn another new one. Susungavi panunade unaba wun. Susungavi panunade unaba wun. Let's break this one a bit down more. So this word sungavi specifically literally means like a cottonwood tree, but it's also used just to refer to a tree in general. So it can just simply mean tree. If you want to refer to a tree, you can use this word, sungabi, sungabi, sungabi. You don't actually pronounce that G, okay? So it's not sungabi, sungabi. Rather, it's just simply sungabi, 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 sungabi. And the word directly below it, unaba, unaba, means the other side, the other side. And once again, I like to add that colon. You see that colon after the double O? I like to add that just for educational purposes so that we know, we can identify that U as a lengthened U. It's unaba, unaba. It's lengthened. You pronounce it a bit longer. Unaba, unaba. So you don't have to spell it. You don't have to add that colon. Again, I just add that for educational purposes so that we can visually see that it is a lengthened oo sound. Unaba. The original Wycliffe spelling system uses 3 O's to indicate lengthening, but personally, I'm not a fan of using 3 O's. If you want to do that, you can, but that's just my preference. So again, all together, Panuna de Unaba means the other side of the lake. Panuna de Unaba. Panuna de Unaba. The other side of the lake. And this last final word we've already learned like previously in other classes, wun means to stand. Wun. Wun. So altogether, su sangabi panuna de unaba wun. This is referring to that tree on the other side of the lake. So it says the tree is standing on the other side of the lake. Literally, that's what it means. But again, in English, we can just simply translate it as the tree is on the other side of the lake. The tree is on the other side of the lake. But again, in Numu, you would add that wun. Literally, it stands on the other side of the lake. So, one quick note on pronunciation. Notice in the word sungabi, there's only one B, but in the word unaba, there is 2 B's. Why is that? Well, the single B is pronounced soft. So like if you bring your lips together and the air from your lungs, you allow the air from your lungs to pass through your lips with a slight vibration. So it's a you're not making a complete stop. You're not fully closing your lips like a b, sungabi. It's not sungabi. It's just a soft v, sungavi, sungavi, sungavi. It's a little bit of a vibration. So this soft b, oftentimes you might see some people or like other documents, they spell it with a V because it is, oftentimes maybe pronounced like a V, but I suspect that's due to English influence, in my opinion. But originally, it's just your 2 lips come together and you allow it to kind of go through your lips. Sungavi, sungavi. But that double B is pronounced fully. You close your lips completely. The air from your lungs comes to a complete stop until you release it. Unaba, unaba, unaba. Other dialects, this double B is pronounced with a P, like in Pyramid Lake, McDermott, it's a P. They say unaba, unaba. But in our Southern dialect, unaba, unaba. Cool? So kind of in summary, again, these 3 posture verbs, happy, if something is lying, kind of looks more like it's lying down, you would use that happy verb. But if it kind of something that's kind of maybe looks more like it's just kind of sitting, it's qat. And if it's standing like a tree, it's wun. So any questions? All right, then a new postposition, which in English, again, is more, we call them prepositions, but this one, namugwe. Namugwe means in the middle of, namugwe, namugwe, namugwe. So in this case, yeah, again, notes on pronunciation and spelling, that double A does indicate lengthening. Namugwe, namugwe. The double O does not indicate lengthening. It's just a simple oo sound. Oo, oo. So it's namugwe, namugwe. In the middle of. So if I want to say that a boat is floating in the middle of the lake, okay? We got this boat here floating in the middle of the lake. We'd say susaki kavanina de namugwe nahupini. Susaki kavanina de namugwe nahupini. Let's break this one down, okay? Let's break this one down. We all know su, this first word su, introduces the subject of the sentence, which in this case is boat. Susaki, the boat. The boat is the subject of the sentence. Saki. Saki is the word for boat. Saki. 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 Boat. I know we've learned this in the springtime. Just as a reminder, for those who may be new, ka introduces whatever else is not the subject of the sentence. So it oftentimes comes immediately before the direct object of the verb, or it comes before introduces subordinate clauses. Subordinate clauses. And that's how it's functioning here. So that floating in the middle of the lake, in the lake, is a subordinate clause. So basically that ka, that's what it's doing. It's telling you, it's introducing the subordinate clause. There is not a direct translation of ka in English, okay? You can sometimes translate it as the, but the meaning of ka and also su, that first word, goes far beyond the meaning of the. So it can be translated the, but oftentimes it's not. So that's a little something that's completely foreign to the English language. But I hope that kind of makes a little bit of sense. Also notice instead of the word lake, Vanunade starting with a P, notice here it starts with that single B. And that's what happens when it follows ka. Ka. Okay, Numu loves changing the pronunciation of letters. Depending on what word precedes it. And so ka, you'll pronounce it more like a soft B. Okay, remember, not that hard double B, but the soft B. Ka vaninade, ka vaninade, the lake. Ka vaninade, ka vaninade, ka vaninade, the lake. Not ka paninade, but ka vaninade, lake. Namugwe, we already learned, was in the middle. So this final word, nahupani, means floating. The root word in this word is nahu, which means to float. Nahu is to float. Okay. And we've learned previously, in a previous class, this final suffix, quini, has a stative sense. Stative. In other words, it refers to the state of being. The state of being. So in this case, it's in a state of floating. Okay. It's in a state of floating. Susaki havanuna dinamo nahupani. The boat is floating in the middle of the lake. Susaki kavanina dinamo nahupini. The boat is floating in the middle of the lake. It's in a state of floating in the middle of the lake. So I'm gonna do a little something different, and I want to call upon each of you to say this sentence. So, Shani, you're first on my list. Are you available to say it?
Yeah, go ahead and say it one more time so I can hear it again.
Susaki kavanina dinamugwe nahupuni.
Susaki ka Tanahuru Namimu. Say the last part again.
Nahupuni.
Nahupanu.
Nahupuni. Yes. Susaki kavanina dinamugwe nahupuni. Right. Chrissy, you're next.
Susaki ka banana namugwe nahupani.
Yeah. Maxine, you're up.
Susaki ka banana namugwe nahupani.
Yeah. And Lish.
So Saki ka banana namugwe nahupani.
Yeah. That is your microphone working?
I think so.
It is. All right, go for it.
So Sakika Paninada Namukwe Nahupuni.
Yeah. And finally, Sandra, you joined a little bit late. You want to give it a shot? Right, and I'll take that as a no.
I'm trying to get my phone to work.
Oh, there you are. It's working now.
Okay.
All right, go for it. Oh, you muted yourself. You wanna read it?
Yeah, I had to switch the screen to unmute it, but then I can't see it it's not letting me unmute on my screen on the.
Oh, well, maybe you have it in your mind. You can read it by memory. And that's the goal. The goal is not to limit ourselves to reading. We want to be able to just know it in our minds. We want to know Susaki, the boat. Kavanina Namugwe, the middle of the lake. Nahupani is floating. We want to be able to just know that off the top of our mind without being able to read it. But obviously,
Right.
in the as we're learning, that's why I do have it on the screen so that we can kind of have that little bit of a training wheels. So
Can you hear me still?
yes, I can.
Okay. Let me see if I can do it like this. Ah. Ah. Susake ka banunadu namugwe nahupani.
Ja, exactly. Susaki kawanuna de namugwe nahupani. Susaki kawanuna de namugwe nahupani. The boat is floating in the middle of the lake. All right, let's learn a new word. You see, we got in the middle of the lake is a leaf. A leaf. So for leaf, you can say sungavi naka. Sungavi naka, which means tree leaf. Tree leaf. Sungavi naka. Sungavi naka. Sungavi naka. Okay. So in this case, sunavi naka kavanina de namu. Kavanina de nahupani. The leaf is floating in the lake, in the middle of the lake. Susungabi naka kavanida the namu na hupini. The leaf is floating in the lake. Okay, sungabi naka, sungabi naka, sungabi naka. That word naka, naka means leaf. It could also mean ear. It can also refer to a sheet of paper. So that's why when you have it preceded by sungabi, you know it's specifically referring to a tree leaf. Sungabi naka. All right, so another new word we see here, we got some flowers that are chilling beside this lake. Flowers, I think some of you guys already, again, who are familiar, who have studied before, you know it's tonigya. 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 There's a little bit of a Y sound that comes after the G. Tonigya. There is a phonetic explanation for that, a linguistic explanation, but if you want to get that detailed, I can explain that after the class. But it is pronounced tonigya. Tonigya. If I want to refer to plural flowers, if I say hano me donigya ana hano me donigya ama na okay, me donigya, the flowers. Let's break this one down, okay? Hano. We already know hano means where, right? Hano is where. The second word, me is a plural article. It means the, but it specifically refers to plural, not nothing singular. So, me donigya, the flowers. And notice the T in the word for flower, tonigya, it turns to a D. Again, that's the joy of numu, okay? When it's followed by certain words, that T will may be more of a D pronunciation. Muronigya. It's more like the sound of the two T's in the word letter. Letter is a quick flop of your tongue on the roof of your mouth. Letter, da 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 da. Muronigya. 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 The flowers, okay? So, hano muronigya. Where are the flowers? This last word, na'a. Na'a. Na'a means to grow. Grow. Na'a. 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 Grow. So altogether, the sentence, hano muronigya na'a. Hano muronigya na'a. Where are the flowers growing? Hano muronigya na'a. Where are the flowers growing? Or it can even be translated, where do the flowers grow? Where do the flowers grow? Either one of those is an acceptable translation. So, hano muronigya na'a. Chrissy, you're at the top of my list. So how would you answer this question? Hano muronigya na'a.
Me donigya panunade gumaba na'a.
Ja, yep, exactly. Did you say mudoniga? I think you did.
Huh.
Mudoniga, the flowers, kavadina de gumava, beside the lake, na'a, grow. Mudoniga, kavanina de na, or kavanina de gumava, beside the lake, na'a, grow. The flowers grow beside the lake, or the flowers are growing beside the lake. Ja. Ja. All right, then. Let's learn another new word. Okay. Notice this one over here, right underneath the tree is a dubi, which is a rock or a stone. Dubi. In the more northern dialects, like in Pyramid Lake, again, McDermott and elsewhere, this double B is a P sound. The B. The B. But in our Southern Shurs way, it's the B. The B. The B. So like, yeah, we pronounce this in the Shurs area, Yarrington area, etc. The B. B. All right, then let's go on to then Maxine. Let's kind of go ahead and ask these questions and respond. So if I ask you Hano Susaki, how would you answer? Hano Susaki.
You didn't say the rock. So,
Yeah, I'm not asking about the rock. I'm asking about the saki. Hano Susaki.
oh, boat. Where is the boat?
Okay, yep.
Okay, so Sugu, Saki, Panu, Panunaju, Unaba, Wunu.
Okay, so yeah, you said the boat is, you use the verb for standing, is standing on the other side of the lake. I'd probably say it's either sitting or lying. So susaki kavanina deunna bakate or susaki kavanina deunna bahapi. Either one of those would be fine, kate or happy. Yes, susaki kavanina deunna bakate. The boat is on the other side of the lake. Yeshi Maxine Hanosu de bi. Hanosu de bi.
Oh, rock. Where's the rock?
Aha.
Su, Tabi,
How would you say it's beside the tree?
Su, Tabi, Sali, Gumaba, Gumaba,
Yep, Gumava is beside.
and
I'd use the word for sit here.
oh, Su, I don't know what it is, Su, Bobby, Etu,
So yep, Sudebi, the rock, Sungavi Gumava, beside the tree, Patu, sits, or it is beside the tree. Sudevi Kasungavi Gumava Katu. Sudevi Kasungavi Gumava Katu. Sudevi Kasungavi the Gumava Katu. Job. All right then. Leash. Leash. You are next.
Okay, I'm ready.
All right. Hano susungabi naka. Hano susungabi naka.
Su Sanabi naka Ka Tsunami Gumaba.
So you're saying the leaf is beside the tree. Okay, susungabi naka kasungabi tsagi, right?
Mhm.
Another, yeah, I mean, or you said gumaba, sorry, beside the tree. Yeah, and how would you say it's near the lake?
Tsunami Naka Ka Baninada Gumaba.
That's beside the lake. What's the word for near?
Near. Let me think if I remember, because I don't see it in my notes. Near is
Zagi.
Zagi.
Yeah, susungabi naka, the leaf, kawanenade zagi. Kat sits near the lake. Yep. All right, and one more, or not one more. A couple more. Hanosusaki.
Nasusaki. Okay. Susaki Kabaninada Na Namugwe Nahupuni.
Aha. The boat is floating in the middle of the lake. Susaki kabanera na namugwe na hupuni. And one last one, Hanosu de bi.
Su Tapi see it's Su Tapi Kabaninada Kat Kamama Gumaba.
Oh, I mean, yeah, that's true. The rock is beside the lake. Sudevi kabanera de gumawa kate. How would you say it's on the other side of the lake?
On the other side. Let me think. Oh, okay. So, tapi uh, pa panen ada unapa. Unapa warna. Oh no, not warna. Kat.
Aha, ja. So Sudevi kabanera de una bakate. The rock is on the other side of the river, or literally is sitting on the other side of the river. Sudevi kawanina de una bakate. Sudevi kawanina de una bakate. All right, Thatch, on to you.
Okay.
All right, so if I say Hano mudoniga na ah. Hano mudoniga na ah.
So, Nigya na um, sa Upina.
And add the verb. Oh yeah. I mean, the way you said it is fine. So you're saying the flowers are growing in front of the boat, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you said su doniga, but we want mu because it's
Oh,
plural. Mu doniga. Mu doniga na ah. So you fronted the verb, which is fine. Mu doniga na ah. Kavanuna de kovina. in front of the boat. Mudoniga na'a kasaki rather. Kasaki govina na'a. The flowers grow in front of the boat. Or the other way would just be mudoniga kasaki gumawa na'a. The flowers grow beside the boat or in front of the boat. Mudoniga kasaki govina na'a. The flowers are growing in front of the boat. Yeshi hano mu sengabi naka.
Mm. 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 How do you pluralize leaves?
Aha, yep, I did.
No, how?
Mu sengabi.
M. Oh, but there's no, the noun itself doesn't double or anything.
Nope.
Okay. M. Tsunabi naka. Floating. Tsunabi naka. Banuda. Banu. Nadu. Nahu.
Nam.
Wait, no. Wait, what?
Namugwe. Kavanina de namugwe. In the middle of the lake.
Oh, middle. Okay. I see.
Nahu. Float.
Nanuda. Banunada. Namugwe.
Nahupinu. Floating. Yep.
No.
Mu sengabi naka vanina de namugwe nahupinu.
Oh, I see. Okay. I see where I was getting it. Okay.
Nina de namugwe nahupinu. Yeah. Throw a little throwback from my lesson we learned from last year. Let's see if you remember. If I say, hano su sengavi ka temarai na guat. Hano su sengavi ka temarai na guat. You remember what that means? You
That
can ask
left
in English. Opposite of left.
is right.
Aha. Hano su sengavi ka temarai na guat. On the right side.
So what's growing on the right side of the leaves? Or what is on the right side of leaves?
Su sengavi ka temarai na guat. Where is the tree on the right side? So where is the right side tree?
In like the far background?
Aha.
So in this slide, would it be like behind the lake?
On the other side of the lake. Yeah.
Okay. So tsunami pa panad unaba una.
Aha. Ja. Togi. So the tree is on the other side of the lake. Su sungavi pavanina de unaba uene. The tree stands on the other side of the lake. Su sungavi pavanina de unaba uene. Su sungavi pavanina de unaba uene. Tree is on the other side of the lake. All right, then. Well, it is 7:30, so we're calling it quits. I will still be here if you guys have any questions, but if not, mubunidwa. See you all later. Bijad, Ogano. Good night.
Happy
night. See you later.
Halloween. Mubinidwa.
Peace. The thing I always struggle with is finding out how to stop the recording. Like literally every week, I can never remember how to stop this. Oh, there it is.